Hi everybody and welcome back. So we're here in let's show you something. Marvelous Designer. Actually, let me fix my screen first. Yes, please. This version of Blender does not like my graphics card, so I gotta keep refreshing that. Okay, now the graphics is back and we're ready to go. Okay, so starting over. Hi everybody and welcome back to Blender. We just got done in Marvelous Designer. So we're here in Blender's 2.72 for all our fancy low-tech rigging techniques. Now I know you can do this in one Blender or whatever, but I never learned it. And actually, to be honest with you, I don't want to learn it because I already mastered this technique and it's my fast go method and I love it and this is what I do and I'm teaching you how to do what I do so you can do what you want to do. You do? Hang on, I'm getting attacked by a cat. Bayonetta, come on, baby. You know I'm working. Shoot. Ooh. I didn't throw the cat. She jumped out my arms. Okay. So what I want to do is I'm going to import our clothes on into here and start prepping it so we can rig it. So we're going to go to another layer, which is these boxes down here, and I'm going to turn on the screencast again. So you know what I'm clicking. Alright, so we're going to go to another layer, which is these boxes down here, and we're going to import our Marvelous Designer garment. So we're going to go to File, Import, Object, and I think it's 2. Oh no, this is the thing I did during the test run. Ignore those pants. Alright, we're going to go to our project folder. So Object, Desktop, Date, Legacy Tutorial, Clothes. And now we have our clothes in here. So we have our garment, and I actually prefer to separate it by parts rather than leave it as one garment. So I'm just going to right click on it and press P and then do by material. So we have the top and the bottom pants separate. Now, what I had mentioned in Marvelous Designer's tutorial is that we need to run it through something to take care of is topology. Now, technically, you don't have to do this. You can leave it as is. But our goal is to make it as Second Life friendly as possible. And people hate triangles with a burning passion, even though Second Life will, and prefer quads, even though Second Life itself will re-triangulate any of the stuff you have anyway, so it really doesn't matter. But if you wish to, let's say you made a garment that's a little high, maybe turn it into quads will lower that Tricount. And what I mean by Tricount is this right here, which is the tris, which is just a fancy word for triangle. Actually, I think it's the multiple. Is it the plural for triangles? No, triangles is the plural for triangle. Anyway, this right here is your triangle. This is what determines how heavy something will be in Second Life. The higher it is, the higher and more triangles or polygons, as you would hear people say, inside. The heavier it is, the more work Second Life has to do to render it out. So you want to try to make your stuff as low poly as possible, but very high in textures, which is what I can't help you with because I can't texture for beans. I can just do the very basic. So you'll have to watch somebody else's tutorial on how to texture with style and glare. But I can teach you things that can make your process a lot easier, which is I hope we do later on when we get to texturing. But right now we want to focus on it. So right now we have our Marvelous in here and it's raw, and that's what people say, oh well, we hate it when people bring in raw Marvelous stuff, unprocessed stuff. When they say that, they mean that they hate it when people make garments and the garments have triangular topology like this. If you want, a good practice to do is to try to reduce that and by running it and making it quad. Now, I'm sure that there is a method of doing so in Blender, but I don't know it. I was taught, well, I stumbled into ZBrush, and trust me, if you learn ZBrush, you will be rich. Rich beyond your wildest dreams. But but I don't know ZBrush either. So all I know how to do is use the Z remesher, which will remesh your topology and make your stuff quad and light and airy, and it helps you out. Sometimes it just gives you the exact same try count or maybe a little higher, but either way, it's quads and people stop complaining. So I will show you the process of retopologizing your mesh, and prevent people from complaining about your brand. So what I want to do is to use it as an example. I'm going to select press A a couple times and select both garments. Then I'm press Shift D and make a duplicate, and then I'm going to right click so that it snaps right back to where it was. And with the duplicate still selected, I'm going to press the M key and then 3 on the keypad, so it sends it over to the third layer, so that we can have a before and after, so that we can look at it and you can make your judgment call on whether or not it's worth it or not. So let's just use the t-shirt, because t-shirts are the best shirts. And like I said, I don't really have time to do both the pants and thing. I'm trying to keep it short as possible, although it's already 5 minutes in and I'm still yakking and didn't show nothing. Okay, so t-shirt. Select your t-shirt. We're going to go and export it out. So we're going to select the t-shirt and then go to File, Export, OBJ, and where is our folder? It should be here. There we go. Legacy template. And we're just going to call this t-shirt. Revolutionary, I know. And like before, we're going to make sure that selection only is checked. So make sure that box is checked. And then we're going to hit Export OBJ. Next thing we're going to do is minimize this. And then we're going to open up ZBrush. I'm using a very old copy of ZBrush because, like I said, I got it. It worked. I stuck with it. It's still here. And it crashed. I'm like, it still works, y'all. It doesn't have to be the latest one. And then she crashes right off the bat. But other than that, it's still good. It's still good. Alright, let's try that again without the crashing, please, ZBrush. Don't make me look like a fool. It's loading. It's loading. Okay, that's fine. Alright, here we go. So we got ZBrush. I'm going to wait for it to finish loading. Let's get to click on them. Alright, there we go. So we got ZBrush, and there she goes. I'm going to hide this because I don't need it. And I'm going to go over to the side of our screen where it says Import. And I'm going to select it. And then we're going to navigate to our project folder once it decides it wants to run. Alright, so my desktop. Legacy tutorial t-shirt. So you click and drag, and then here is our marvelous shirt. So I was told, let me see if I can remember the process. You first go to polygroups and then say auto groups with UVs, I think. Then you go to geometry and then Z remesher and freeze groups. Then hit the Z remesher. Wait for this to go through as it starts working your stuff. And, now it's all quad. So it goes from triangle to smooth. And then we go to Z plugin. And then, come on, brain. Work it, work it, work it. UV master. And then polygroups. Turn off symmetry. And then unwrap all. Working it, I think. Cool. And then we go to draw right here and click, and then it should be fine. After that, we hit export, and we name this as quad shirt so we don't get them confused, and then it's done. Whoo, I'm sorry. I wish I would have hoped that you were able to follow that one, because my brain was like, 2 months of not doing work will really break your brain. Okay, so we have it exported. Woo! And we're going back inside of our Blender. Let's go to a new layer. Import. Wave OBJ. Legacy tutorial. Quad shirt. And let's see. Let's join it. The pattern is all wonky. I guess you can select the layers and put them all around. I wonder if I can cheat and have it. Let's see. Maybe Peg Islands? Nah, it's like, no, kid. almost. We could just press RZ90. And yay, look, we got our shirt pattern back. Great. Cool. So we got this, then we hit smooth, and then it's like this. So here we go, all quad. So we can look at the two, and then you can choose. Here is, let me move it to the same layer because it doesn't matter. Alright, so here is our shirt. The orange one is the poly one that's raw, and then this one is the, oop, Facebook. So the orange one is our raw, and this one is our quad one. You can see up here the Tricount, see, is 7 triangles. This one is 3,290. God, hang on. Eyes go. 3,967 triangles. The quad version is 3,057 triangles. So it's quad, it's a little bit lighter than a triangle, and this is actually what people prefer inside of your Second Life stuff. So it's up to you whether or not you want to go down this method, but I feel like I should teach you guys retopology, at least even if it's considered half-ass retopology. Some topology is better than no topology, so up to you. Because this one is lighter, I'm going to go with that one over the Marvelous one. So this is going to be the shirt we're going to rig. So what I'm going to do now is we're going to go and move this over to a separate layer and start our rigging process. So let's go back to our first layer with a body on it, and we're going to hold down shift and select our quad shirt and put it onto our avatar. Now I don't like this bundle up thingy right here. I probably should have smoothed that out before I threw it through the retopology thingy, but I'm just going to hit smooth and smooth this wrinkle out just a little bit so it's not so harsh. I don't know what that's about, but okay. So I'm going to smooth it out just a little bit. Like, we want some folds and stuff, but I don't like harsh lines. Then I'm going to grab my grabby tool and just pull it out a little bit. And if you notice that when you use smooth, your stuff is tearing like that, this is because I forgot to do a crucial step, and that is to remove the doubles that are inside here. So if you have tried to manipulate your garment and you got tears, we can actually fix that. So let's go back a bit before I started sculpting. So it should be about here. Maybe? Okay. So you want to select it, right? Select the garment. Press tab and go into edit mode. Press W on your key. And then you want to press remove doubles. And this will take out those seam lines and stuff that will break your garment. So now when we try to smooth it out, you'll see we get the smooth, but the garment isn't tearing. Now don't mistake what was happening right now. It's not tearing, it's just going inside the body, which is okay because we just took away a big chunk of mesh. So we gotta pull it back out, and you see this time there's no tearing inside your garment. So just smooth until you like it, and then you know that. So earlier we were talking about, while I fix this, I'll talk to you about something. So earlier we were talking about Tricount, right? It's okay. I know sometimes when you're making a garment, you have to, when you're making a garment, sometimes the Tricount gets out of hand, and you make a garment that's really high poly and you want to keep it. So I want to talk to you about that so that you understand why it's so important for you to keep your garments at low as possible. So Second Life is an old game. It can do a lot of stuff, but basically it's still on the same old engine from like 2006, Havoc and stuff like that. Each sim actually has a limit of how much stuff it can handle. So you ever go to an event or something, and when you try to get in, the sim is full. So that's called the sim limit. Some sims can like really hold only about 20 people, depending on how big the region is there or the area that you're trying to go into. So it can hold like 10 or 20 or I think maybe 50 people at a time, something like that. So that sim limit is really based on how much weight and triangles and things like that that a region can process and still function smoothly. This sim limit was created before the whole idea of mesh even existed. So back then, we only had the system avatar, our roof avatar, and that was roof and Rolf. Those guys were the only kind of mesh, if you will, say avatar that Second Life had, and then we would add things onto it to decorate ourselves, mostly like prims and sculpt and things like that. And those things were fairly light in comparison to the mesh thing because there was a heavy restriction on it. Like say if we were to make flexi hair, a cube for one cube for that would be maybe eight triangles. So it's like hair was fairly low in comparison to today. So speed forward in the future, and we have the invention of mesh. Mesh is pretty much a wildland as long as we stay under like 600 or some I think it was like 600 or some odd K, 6 6 9 9 9 9 9 9. I don't remember. I just remember a bunch of 6 and 9s or something, or if it was 6 and 3s. As long as we stay under that, Second Life doesn't really give a hoot. You can just import it in, which created this Wild West kind of thing that we have. And the mentality that the more polygons a garment or item is, the higher quality it is. This is not a good way of thinking because we're not thinking about the stress on the system, the sim and the server it costs to build it in. So let me give you an idea of the ideal situation that the sim was built for. Roof, actually I'm going to open up the calculator because as you all know, math is my elemental weakness. Roof, back then, was 9,000 triangles. Less than 10K. So a sim can potentially have, let's say, 20 people. So that's 9,000 times 20, which gives us 180K worth of triangles that the sim can process at one time with a sort of slight buffer to factor in prim clothes and prim hair to keep the sim going. This body in particular, if we take off the clothes and stuff and select the body and go into edit mode, this is a dummy of the body, and it is 72 72K in triangles roughly. So we're just going to round down just to keep it nice and smooth. So out of this, and then this is just the body by itself. It doesn't have nipples, it doesn't have fingernails, it doesn't have any of that. It's just this. Although to be honest with you, when I did my tutorial of it, my dev kit, the body was a little heavier. But let's just use this as an example. This is the body right here. Plain body, no like accessories, just the plain Jane one, not even a head. It is 72K. So let's subtract 72,000 from it. Oh, did I just add it? Wait, go back. Up here, please. Subtract 72, 1, 2, 3. Really? Is that right? Damn, my math sucks. Anyway, with this body alone, this is how much triangles it is in here. So basically, what I'm trying to say is, when you take 72, 1, 2, 3, divided by 9, this is 9,000. You are 8 roofs heavy. Just body alone is 8 people on a sim. So then you got that, right? And then you add in another garment. Let's see. T-shirt. So 72, 1, 2, 3, plus. Um, I've seen hair being like 25K. So 25K for hair. And let's just be optimistic and say that maybe the nails are like 5,000 just for one hand, and then another 5,000 for another hand, and then you got your what do you call it? Your accessories, your rings, and all the rest of it. Seriously, somebody came with us with 10K worth of rings. So we have hair, we have nails, we have this, we have shoes. I'm just gonna be kind and say that somebody had 10K worth of shoes. A designer head. Again, let's be kind and say it's another 50K. Plus just the head by itself, not even the teeth, which is like, again, 3,000. So this is how much your body is on the sim. So we're going to divide that. Just you naked, not even clothes. So it's hair, nails, body, head, nails, teeth. Y'all don't have designer toenails, dude. That's not a thing yet. Please tell me that's not a thing. So you have that divided by 9,000, and you are 20 people on the sim. Just one person with ideal statistics. So you are 20 people worth of 20 roofs on one sim. That's supposed to hold 20 people. And then you got, that's just naked. So then you have clothes you throw in on top of it. So imagine you're in here and you make a t-shirt that's like, oh God, what was that? Like a lot of K. Maybe you make a 10K shirt and you're thinking, okay, well, it's only 10, 15K. That's 10 or 15K added on top of this nonsense. Oh, it's gone. But yeah. So you're adding more roofs onto the body that's already 20 roofs strong. And the sim can only hold 20 roofs. So you are exceeding the limit of what the sim can hold already. I hope that makes sense. So we want to make our clothes as light as possible so that the sim doesn't explode. And that's just one person. So imagine one person was 20K naked for some reason, and then they come in here, somebody else, and they got a garment that's another 30K on top of it. So then there's another person with 20, 21 people. So the sim is being exceeded, seriously, being weighed down. So that is why we keep stressing about having to make your stuff as light as possible. It sucks, yes, but blame the people who keep making heavy bodies. I'm just saying. Alright, so with that said, it doesn't mean that you have to walk around in blocks. So we're going to work on this and make it look nice so that you can use it. So you can have all the detail of a high prim if you use a thing called normal maps. But that is something that we're going to talk about in texturing. I just need you guys to understand the importance of optimizing your mesh and making your stuff low. It may seem like no big deal to go over and make a 20K t-shirt, but that's 20K on top of the other one. So please, for love of Second Life, make low poly clothes. But if you gotta go over, you gotta go over. Hey, ain't nothing you can do about that. Okay. So we have our shirt here and it's all ready for us to go. We are going to start the rigging process. And I feel like after that long ass rant, we should make another video. That way if people want to skip it, they can. But you really shouldn't skip it. So, alright, I'm going to make a new video. We're going to go dive in and into rigging. So, yeah. Alright.